Things starting to get interesting here in the first round as Heat 4 hits the lineup. Filipe Toledo up and riding at the moment. Unsuccessful as he tries to drift the fins on that last section. Plenty of time on the clock though. Just a 2.67 for that opening ride. Filipe has to be the favourite going into this matchup. Conditions that you'd think would suit him very nicely, Pete Mel. Beach break conditions. They're going to get some ramp opportunities. Mind you, Caio Ibelli, he's back. Had broken his foot, missed most of last season, gets the call up. So Caio's going to try and really make use of these opportunities in the first couple of events.
And as you recall, that we had 3 surfers wanting that injury wild card, Caio being the one that got edged out of it. And so, you know, he's the first replacement. So anytime someone pulls out, he's in. I think that's just, you know, it's kind of common knowledge. You know, you start off the season with a win or a second place, you're feeling pretty good, you're relaxed, and then it carries over into performances for the rest of the year.
Joan Duru straight up into that first section. The Frenchman, much like Duru, who won through in the last heat, really started to click towards the end of last season. Watching him free surf in the lead up to this first event, Pete, he's looked really sharp and very inspired.
Well, and I think that Joan is one of those surfers that really responds to pressure pretty darn well. You know, you think about what he had to do in those last 2 events to get himself into qualification, and he was able to succeed in challenging conditions, you know, at the beach breaks. So it's a pretty cool place to come visit the Gold Coast.
And during these championship tour events, this is the quietest you'll see the lineups. As we see Filipe just so explosive. Even a standard backhand snap has a drift across the lip. A real point of difference in his approach to many of the other competitors on the championship tour. Just an electricity to everything he does.
As you kind of start to analyze all of the tour surfers at the beginning of the season, you know, who's going to drop edits into, you know, there was a bunch of the surfers who did. Filipe pretty quiet on his social media.
I was going to say that, you know, we were talking before, if there was a social media rankings coming into this first event, Filipe probably wouldn't have been in the top 5. His title aspirations, getting back into training mode about a month ago. And starting to drop some nice big airs on his social media too, just to get everyone thinking about his chances once again. Caio up, looking to finish this one off with an air reverse on the inside.
You know, it's interesting thinking about Caio Ibelli and how he has to come into event number 1 being that first replacement. I mean, you would think that you get a chance, but you don't always have that, you know, all knowing that you're going to be competing in each and every event. So it's a different way to compete, you know, to a ride to get it into the excellent range. So, you know, they're going to try them. You got to learn them.
Well, these waves during the interviews, Pete, some really solid turns laid down. Who got the best of it?
Wow, I mean, a lot of similarities. Juan had his backhand here. To get to drift over to Caio Ibelli. You know, he's got to add things that he already has. You know, Filipe, you know, all kind of just in that kind of average to good range. You know, Filipe, unfortunately, I think his waves have been a little bit flatter, but as you watch this explosiveness in the lip, that's that kind of extra, the compression in the lip where you get the fins drifting on edge with all that speed. We start the season right out of January, but we're now already into April to start the CT. So these surfers have plenty of opportunities to surf a few heats before the season starts.
Joan Duru up and trying to get rid of a 1.43 here. A couple of solid hits. Heard Martin Potter saying earlier, you know, these days to contend, to win events, to put yourself in the title mix.
You maneuver and you want to link them together. This is what we saw from Joan Duru, is that he's got great flow and he knows how to, on the backhand specifically, to link up good moves. And that will reflect in the score. These days, you know, any kind of fall or loss of control throughout a maneuver, the judges take note of that.
Rhythm seems to be on Joan Duru's side at the moment. Getting a lot of decent waves. That one didn't really pan out for him though.
And we really only had one very good ride, and that was from the last heat. You know, that above the lip aerial move from the heat winner, Duru, and that's it. We've yet to see anything excellent.
We might see one here. Toledo, he has one of the highest heat winning percentages or heat score percentages of any of the competitors on the championship tour. Big old spray coming off the rail of the board on that last move.
which felt really good out here. I practiced on it last couple days, and yeah, it's been feeling good. It's really just about getting the right waves and getting something that has a little bit of steepness and energy that kind of sticks with you throughout the wave.
Another thing, Adam Robinson in your corner helping out, former competitor. What's he doing for you? Why is he in your camp?
With 1 minute and 45 seconds to go, Joan Duru is in a good spot to get his first heat win here on the Gold Coast, despite the fact that he's had an excellent heat here in the past, 16.4, losing out in the second round. But he hasn't had a victory here, so this would be a really positive start to his season. But it must be nerve-wracking for the competitors in that situation, because really there's not too much separating all three competitors. On the inside, it looks like Caio's up, looking for a big section to launch. Can't keep his board under his feet. He's going to go down. So heat 4 is going to come to a close with the Frenchman, Joan Duru, sitting out in front. Filipe Toledo snatches second spot from Caio Ibelli. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, Joe Tapel and Martin Potter will step in for the call.